as much of a favorite as Virginia was over UMBC, University of Maryland, Baltimore County, the Retrievers. That was kind of a cool little memento that he had on last night.
Stoney, can I ask you a question?
Absolutely.
And I want you to be honest about it. Tom, too. Heather as well. Okay, so we all know that Jeff Blashill and John Cooper are really good friends. Like, really good friends.
Yeah.
And up until this year, Blashill didn't beat Cooper all that much time. Okay? It's kind of like the Harwells. Do you think Jeff Blashill yesterday was sitting at home, watching the game, rooting for the Dallas Stars so his good buddy Coop doesn't have a Stanley Cup? Be honest.
No, I think it was rooting for him.
Think so?
Yeah.
Am I a jerk? Because I think maybe he wasn't.
No, you're a jerk for
It
other
is your good
reasons,
friend, but at the same time, you're very competitive with your good friends.
Yeah, okay, so, all right. Let's say one of your good friends is playing in the Masters or something, right?
I think I have good friends. That's very nice.
Okay, well, I assume you have good friends. You wouldn't want your good friend to, win?
It's a little different.
Okay,
Of course, I want my good friend to win the Masters.
Okay, all right, how about this? Well, what do you compete with your friends in? Let's say, hypothetically, because you like to gamble, which is fine, you enter a contest, like a Survivor contest, and you don't do well, but your friend can win, a lot of money if he wins the thing. You gonna root against your friend?
Well, it depends. Is that friend Dan Leach? Because if Leach wins it, we'll never hear the end.
Well, I'm talking about you. Well, you are good friend. I'm talking about maybe your best friend.
I mean, kind of, maybe.
Oh, come on, really?
You can't be happy for your friend when they succeed.
Yeah, I know, it makes no
Of course
sense.
I'd be happy for my friend. And I would be happy, sort of, but at the same time, I'd be like, if he doesn't have a Stanley Cup and I don't have a Stanley Cup, it's a lot easier for me. Maybe just a little bit. It's kind of like John and Jim. It's kind of like John and Jim.
You know what I thought? You know where I thought you were going to go? Would it be weird if Eiserman fired Blashill and then hired Cooper after a year or whatever when his contract's up because he hired him the first time? No, if they're really good friends, you might, if he lost, he might needle him. He might send them autographed copies from John Tortorella of the book Goodbye Columbus or some stupid thing like that. But no, you want your good friend to win.
Maybe the better question. When Coop got swept last year, okay, and they were supposed to be the team to win it all, do you think Blashill felt a little happiness when that happened?
No, because he knows.
He's a better guy than me.
Well, most people are, obviously. Yeah. Look, would it set up, like I said, for some, pranks or some jokes? Yeah. Like Dan Quinn, maybe people send him, pictures of the scoreboard when it said 28-3, just to needle him a little bit, that type of thing. But I don't think those friends who did that were happy that his friend lost the Super Bowl.
I wouldn't do that either.
No, what I'm
Dave
saying.
might kill you, but yes.
But you get the difference.
I do. I'm just wondering, was there any part of Blashill's mind yesterday where he's watching that game, just thinking to himself, he's going to win this thing and it goes game 7. It's the worst thing.
I'm sure he said that and said, God, I wish that was me, but I don't think if he's his really good friend, he's hoping it wasn't him. Unless he's really good friends with Rick Bowness, the coach of the Dallas Stars.
Maybe he's buddies with Jim Nill.
Maybe.
So, real quick, it was Victor Hedman that won the Conn Smythe last night. We were talking earlier.
Yeah.
We thought it should be Point. So, Brayden Point in this playoff had the 19th most points in a single playoff ever. Nikita Kucherov actually had one more point than him, but he played 2 more games because Point was banged up there. But, Point that's the 3rd highest point total in a playoff this century. Head scratch.
Good point by you. All right, coming up after the update, we'll be joined by Benny Blades, 97 Limited.
YT FM and WXYT HD1 Detroit. The radio.com sports station. Sports headlines all day, every day. From the Sold by YC Sports Desk, this is 97.1. The Ticket.
Sunday's contest against the Indianapolis Colts, Foles replaces Mitch Trubisky. For the second time in the franchise's history, the Tampa Bay Lightning are Stanley Cup champions after they blanked the Dallas Stars 2-0 in last night's Game 6 of the Stanley Cup Finals. The playoffs will officially begin today in Major League Baseball, with 4 Game 1s taking place in the best-of-3 wildcard round. The best game of the day will take place tonight as the Indians battle the New York Yankees in Cleveland. Shane Bieber will get the start for the Tribe this evening. The Yankees will counter with Garrett Cole. At the Ticket Update List, I'm Tony Ortiz. For more, stay tuned to 97.1 The Ticket and radio.com.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is the program, and speaking of the program, a nice little announcement we're going to have tomorrow during the program with Wojo, during the Wednesday with Wojo segment. Joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, one of our all-time great Detroit Lions. That's right. He is now the host of Believe in the Lions on the Believe Podcast Network, Pro Bowler, College Football Hall of Famer, a member of the team that actually won a playoff game, the hard-hitting number 36, and he was voted the second best 36 in Detroit sports history behind Rasheed Wallace. He is Benny Blades. What's up, Benny? We're doing good. How are you? Oh, that's good. Now you remember the media, huh? Yeah, I know. Who would have thought? You were always good with us back in the day. I want to first ask you, before we talk about the current Detroit Lions, you guys, what a great defense. I mean, Spielman, Jerry Ball, the air traffic controllers on the backside. You guys were really, really good. Haven't had a really great defense except for the 1 year maybe with Sue since. Why do you think, because you guys, I mentioned you winning the playoff game against the Cowboys 38-6, going to Washington, lose the NFC Championship game. Everybody thought it's going to be the Cowboys and the Lions for the next decade, basically. What do you think happened? Why did that not happen?
From 1991, we annihilated Dallas. I mean, because I talk about it all the time with Coach Johnson down here in Miami. He thought, just like he thought, it was going to be Dallas and Detroit for at least another 8-9 years. And he went back and he won 3 back-to-back world championships. Well, we had a demise going down the wrong way because, for a few, I call it $100, we let some key players go, whereas other teams, they kept the nucleus of the team and they build around it. We were letting guys go, let Gray go, let Chris Spielman go, let Jerry Ball go, let Lomas go. From 91 to my last year there in 96, you look around the locker room, none of those guys are there. And you just cannot have a winning program if you don't keep the nucleus. I mean, people talk about contracts, but sometimes you have to get those things done, however painful it may be. You got to get it done for the betterment of the team itself. You can't let your egos, say, well, for $100,000, well, you can just go somewhere else.
Right.
You just can't do that.
Yep. And then the other thing back then, and it leads to my next question about, do you think this franchise is cursed? I mean, that off season, you have Eric Andelsek, who was going to be, it was a Pro Bowl, guy, basically was going to be a Pro Bowl player forever, and he gets killed in a ridiculous way, while he was cutting his lawn. Just things that happen to this franchise just don't seem to happen to anybody else.
I don't know if it's cursed or not, but I know every off season I go into it because for whatever reason, I grew up a Raiders fan, but now I'm a diehard Detroit Lions fan because I play with people. Always say, "Well, you play for Seattle." I don't like Seattle, And so, I get tortured down here. You know, because every year I keep saying, well, we're going to go deep into the playoffs. We might win the Super Bowl. And they go, are you kidding me? You guys haven't won since you played there. Stop it. You know? But, you know, I'm going to continue to hopefully the news for she said she wants to see considerable improvement. I don't know what improvement means, but you know, you just can't keep putting the same product out there and then keep hoping for a different result. You know?
Benny, I got to tell you, I love you, and I love the team. You guys are my childhood. I mean, I was the most rabid Lions fan in the 90s, and you were a big part of that. But I got to ask you, okay, so Barry retires in 1999. You were done from football by that point. But when he was playing in Detroit, did you ever get a sense that he'd be that type of guy that eventually would just walk away? Like, was he fed up? We hear that he was fed up. Take us through that. Like, could you foresee Barry just one day faxing in his resignation and saying, I'm done with football?
You know what? I mean, like I just said, you know, a lot of things were happening when you start getting rid of. I think I'm just, you know, speculating. I think the last part of the offensive line that he do was Kevin Glover in 1998. You get rid of Kevin Glover. You know, who was, in my opinion, Kevin went on to play another 3 years out in Seattle after that. And you just can't keep tearing down a locker room. People that you know, people that you bounce ideas off of. I mean, people used to always say, well, Barry wasn't very boisterous, but you get with guys like myself, William White, Lewis Brown, Kevin, we would all go out and go to dinner, and yeah, we would have a good time. But when you start getting rid of people that you know, I mean, yeah, you could be a competitor and you want to compete, but it also is about camaraderie that goes on in the locker room that people don't see. And so, yeah, I didn't think he was going to go all the way across the world and fax his.
That was a shocker. We're joined by Benny Blades, former Lion great, host of Believe in Lions on the Believe Podcast Network. Let's go to the present. They win on Sunday, so the hope is still somewhat alive because everybody thought, oh boy, after what happened in the opener and then against Green Bay, you know, you got a bye coming up after this week. They could be 0-4. They might have another coaching change. What do you think of this team? You think they're close, or do you think it's just business as usual with this franchise?
It was, like I said, every year, you know, I thought when we got Matt Patricia in, you know, being that defensive guru over New England, it's like, well, okay, at least on the defensive side of the ball, because Matthew Stafford, in my opinion, is in this league today, is in the top 8 of quarterbacks. So I'm thinking defensively, we're going to be more physical. We're going to play that New England style of football. It doesn't matter who's out there. Everybody's going to be accountable. That hasn't happened. And so I don't know if it's coaching, I don't know if it's players, but this team